From the Founding Fathers to today, American political discourse has been infused with the language of the Bible. This tradition has deep roots in the nation's history and continues to shape its identity. The fusion of sacred and secular language reflects the profound influence of religious belief on American history, identity, and values. Politicians often draw on biblical references to resonate with their audience, invoking a sense of shared heritage and moral authority. This blending of religious and political rhetoric is not new. It has been a powerful tool for leaders throughout American history, from Abraham Lincoln's speeches to Martin Luther King Jr.'s sermons. Donald Trump's presidency saw a notable resurgence of explicitly religious language in the public square. His speeches often included biblical imagery and vocabulary, particularly aimed at his core base of evangelical Christian supporters. Trump frequently employed biblical imagery and vocabulary in his speeches, particularly to his core base of evangelical Christian supporters. This strategic use of religious language helped to solidify his connection with this influential group. This essay will examine key biblical allusions in Trump's rhetoric, exploring their original context and how they were used to advance his political agenda. By understanding these references, we can gain insight into the ways religious language can be used to inspire, persuade, and manipulate in modern politics. By examining Trump's rhetoric, we can understand how religious language can inspire, persuade, and manipulate in modern politics. This exploration will also shed light on the broader implications of using religious references in political discourse. Ultimately, this exploration encourages critical thinking about the power of words and the enduring influence of religious belief on American public life. It invites us to reflect on how deeply intertwined religion and politics are in shaping the nation's narrative. One striking instance of biblical imagery in Trump's rhetoric was his inaugural address, describing America as a land ravaged by American carnage. This stark depiction evoked comparisons to the prophetic pronouncements of the Old Testament. By invoking the language of prophetic warning, Trump positioned himself as a leader prepared to restore the nation to its former glory. This framing resonated deeply with many evangelical Christians, who saw in Trump a flawed but chosen instrument to restore righteousness. The rhetoric of crisis and restoration, rooted in biblical narratives, proved potent in mobilizing Trump's base and shaping his presidency. Few policy proposals were as central to Trump's presidency as the construction of a wall along the U.S.-Mexico border. This wall was not just a physical barrier, but a cornerstone of his campaign, symbolizing his stance on immigration and national security. The wall took on symbolic significance, becoming a physical manifestation of Trump's promise to restore security and order. It was a tangible representation of his commitment to protect American jobs and sovereignty. In this context, the wall resonated with biblical narratives of boundaries, protection, and the pursuit of a promised land. These ancient stories of fortification and divine protection found a new life in modern political discourse. The book of Nehemiah recounts the rebuilding of Jerusalem's walls, often cited by proponents of strong borders. This historical parallel was used to justify the need for a modern-day wall. Similarly, Trump's wall symbolized his commitment to protecting America from perceived external threats and preserving American identity. It was a promise to safeguard the nation's values and way of life. This blending of the secular and sacred allowed Trump to connect with voters emotionally and frame his policies within a broader narrative of national redemption. By invoking both security and sacredness, he created a powerful and resonant message. Section 4. Make America Great Again, a Covenant with the People. Trump's slogan, "Make America Great Again," carried subtle but significant biblical overtones. The phrase evoked the language of covenant, a central theme in the Bible. By framing his presidency as a mission to make America great again, Trump positioned himself as a leader chosen to restore America to greatness. This resonated with voters longing for a return to a time when America was perceived as a beacon of strength and prosperity. By framing his presidency in such terms, Trump tapped into religious sentiment and national pride, forging a powerful connection with his base. Section 5. The enduring power of Scripture in secular discourse. The use of biblical language in Trump's addresses highlights the enduring power of religious rhetoric in politics. This is not a new phenomenon. Throughout history, leaders have often turned to Scripture to lend weight to their words and connect with their audience. By employing scriptural language, Trump connected with voters on an emotional level, tapping into deeply held beliefs and anxieties. This strategy can be incredibly powerful, as it resonates with the core values and fears of the electorate. While effective, this raises questions about the role of religion in public life and its potential manipulation for political ends. The blending of religious and political rhetoric can blur the lines between faith and governance, leading to complex ethical dilemmas. Understanding the use of biblical language in political speech requires careful consideration of both the speaker's intent and the audience's interpretation. It's crucial to discern whether the use of scripture is genuine or a calculated move to sway public opinion. By recognizing how religious language can be used and misused, we can become more discerning consumers of political rhetoric and more engaged citizens in a democracy. This awareness empowers us to hold our leaders accountable and ensure that the separation of church and state is respected.